What if every major catastrophe in human history had an unseen audience? What if plagues, revolutions, and wars were all accompanied by a mysterious dance, led by death itself, playing music that changes with the times? Through the centuries, certain people have been chosen to witness death's eternal ballet. Plague doctors, revolutionaries, child workers, and soldiers. They survive to tell the tale, but knowing that someday they too will join the dance. Picture this: Venice, 1347. A plague ship sits in harbor, and a young doctor in a bird-masked plague suit watches as ghostly dancers emerge from the hold. Or a modern city in lockdown, where a photographer captures death, leading its eternal procession through empty streets. Think of it as history's darkest moments performed as a cosmic ballet, where death is both conductor and choreographer, and the dancers are both victims and witnesses to humanity's greatest transformations. Now, we're about to join the most exclusive performance in history.
The Dance of Death. Through the glass eyepieces of her plague mask, Isabella watches the dancers emerge from the ship's hold like morning mist. Death leads them, resplendent in a captain's coat, playing a violin crafted from driftwood and bones. The recently dead from the ship join hands with plague victims from ports across the Mediterranean, forming an ethereal procession across the Venice docks. A merchant in Byzantine silk spins with a barefoot sailor. A Muslim trader from Alexandria dances with a Christian nun. In death's choreography, all the divisions of their world dissolve like fog in sunlight. When death pauses to bow to Isabella, she knows she's been marked. The music changes with each era, but the dance remains the same. In 1381, death wears a peasant's smock in an English rebel camp, beating a drum that pulses like a human heart. Lords and laborers twirl together in the firelight's shadows, while 10,000 peasants prepare to march on London. John Ball, the rebel priest, watches the dance and sees not just the dead, but those who will die. Nobles who still sit secure in their palaces. Unaware, they'll soon join death's company. Paris, 1793. Death sports revolutionary red, playing a violin strung with aristocrats' heartstrings. Through his prison window, Citizen Camille watches the dancers phase through walls. The revolution devours its children, and they all dance together in death's eternal brotherhood. Manchester, 1811. 12-year-old Sarah sees death, weaving between the power looms, playing a flute carved from a child's broken bones. The dancers wear the worn clothes of mill workers, many of them children like her, their small bodies whole again. They dance with mill owners who will eventually join their ranks. She alone survives the next day's accident, marked by death's dark blessing. The Western Front, 1916. Private Thomas Hughes watches death lead its procession through no man's land, playing a tin whistle that weaves through the sound of distant artillery. British and German soldiers waltz together through the mud and barbed wire. Their uniforms dirty, but their boots mysteriously clean. He recognizes faces from both sides. Boys he's killed, friends he's lost, all dancing with a strange joy, as if war's hatreds can't touch them anymore. And today, Elena adjusts her mask and raises her camera in an empty, pandemic-stricken city.
Historical analysis. What makes Death's dance particularly fascinating is how it appears across cultures and time periods, always adapting to reflect the era's greatest crises. The concept of death as a dancer or musician appears in medieval European, Islamic mystical poetry, and Asian theatrical traditions. The witnesses' accounts share striking similarities across centuries. The dance appears during periods of massive social upheaval. Historical records show witnesses describing seeing people in the dance who hadn't yet died. Witnesses typically survive the catastrophe they're observing, but carry the psychological burden of their vision. Medical records from various eras show these survivors often lived unusually long lives, but reported recurring dreams of the dance. Tourist guide. Ready for Death's historical procession? Visit Venice's Lazaretto Nuovo Plague Island Museum. Pro tip: During Aqua Alta, visitors report hearing violin music. At London's Museum of London, see the 1381 Peasants' Revolt exhibit with John's dancer sightings. Drums sometimes beat mysteriously. The Conciergerie in Paris preserves Camille's revolutionary dance cell. Expect cold spots and distant carmagnole singing. Manchester's People's History Museum features Sarah's Mill with a self-operating power loom. Dawn tours at Ypres in Flanders Fields Museum include Private Hugh's account of No Man's Land dancers and phantom tin whistles. Warning: many sites prohibit dancing after sunset or ban mirrors. Locals whisper about visitors joining phantom waltzes and vanishing. Final tip: if you hear timeless music or see wall-passing dancers, don't join in, unless you're ready to become part of history's longest performance.